Earlier this week, the British royal family once again stirred the media when King Charles III decided to bestow the title of Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order upon Sir Timothy Lawrence, the usually reserved husband of Princess Anne. What drew the public's attention was not the honor itself, but the way it was announced, quietly, through the court circular, with no grand ceremony or public statement. Immediately questions arose. Why was such an important royal decision kept so discreet? And could there be a deeper message behind King Charles's choice, aimed either at the royal family or the British public? Sir Timothy Lawrence has long been known as a private figure, rarely seen in the media. Yet his influence within the royal family is far from minor. He is not only Princess Anne's husband, but also a man deeply respected for his integrity, loyalty, and steady hand in matters of palace affairs. Being granted the title of Knight Grand Cross, one of the most prestigious honors within the Royal Victorian Order, instantly sparked speculation. Was this simply an act of recognition, or a subtle signal about power, hierarchy, and internal alliances within the monarchy? Princess Anne, the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, cannot be separated from this story. Her relationship with her husband and her long and complex dynamic with her brother, King Charles, have always drawn close attention from the public. This knighthood could very well shift Anne's standing within the family, and perhaps reveal hidden details about royal life that have never been publicly acknowledged. And it all happened within Buckingham Palace, the very heart of royal power, a place where even the smallest gesture carries layers of meaning. One can't help but wonder, behind what seems like a simple title, what tales of power, family, and secrecy remain untold? To truly understand the deeper significance of King Charles III's decision to grant Sir Timothy Lawrence the Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order, we must first look at its history and importance. The Knight Grand Cross, or GCVR, is the highest rank within the Royal Victorian Order, one of the most esteemed royal honors in the United Kingdom. Established in 1896 by Queen Victoria, the order was created to recognize individuals who rendered exceptional personal service to the monarchy, from managing palace affairs and assisting in diplomatic events, to making significant contributions to the royal household's social and political life. What makes the Knight Grand Cross truly unique is not just its prestige, but the authority and standing it confers. Recipients are recognized directly by the monarch, without the involvement of any government or political body. It represents an absolute mark of trust, a declaration that the individual has not only proven loyal, but is deemed capable and discreet enough to handle the inner workings of royal life. Compared to other honors, such as the Order of the British Empire or the Order of the Bath, the Knight Grand Cross is far more personal and less political. It is an honor rooted entirely in dedicated service to the royal family. For this reason, the title is often viewed as an emblem of inner circle power, a silent yet powerful statement of one's influence, both within the palace walls and in the eyes of the public. The history of the Knight Grand Cross title is steeped in prestige and honor. For more than a century, it has been bestowed upon some of the most remarkable figures in British history, from decorated military commanders and senior royal officials to individuals who made exceptional contributions during pivotal royal events. For instance, Sir Winston Churchill was awarded this title in recognition of his outstanding service to both the nation and the crown. Many high-ranking members of the Royal Household Council have also received it as a testament to their lifelong dedication and unwavering loyalty. These distinguished names have elevated the Knight Grand Cross far beyond the realm of mere titles, transforming it into a symbol of power, respectability, and steadfast allegiance to the monarchy. It is important to note that the Knight Grand Cross is not an honor open to all. It is reserved exclusively for those who have served the royal family faithfully over many years, demonstrating ability, loyalty, and long-term commitment. Not everyone within the palace walls will ever have the chance to receive such recognition. Being appointed as a Knight Grand Cross means that the monarchy places absolute trust in the recipient, acknowledging not only their service, but also granting them a unique position of both honor and responsibility. It carries a clear message. This distinction is reserved for those who truly deserve it, not merely for their achievements, but for their capacity to maintain integrity, influence, and credibility within the demanding and intricate environment of royal power. To the public and the media, the Knight Grand Cross serves as a powerful signal. Whenever someone is granted this title, it draws attention not only from within the royal family, but from around the world. Every royal appointment is carefully examined, for it reflects the king's personal judgment of who is worthy of power, honor, and position within the monarchy. This is precisely why the recent appointment of Sir Timothy Lawrence, a man known for his discretion and quiet presence, has sparked such curiosity and speculation. To many, it represents more than personal recognition. It could be a subtle message from King Charles about influence, hierarchy, and the balance of loyalty within the royal family. Understanding the value of the Knight Grand Cross allows us to see why King Charles's quiet, understated decision carries so much meaning. And to truly grasp that meaning, we must turn our attention to Sir Timothy Lawrence himself, a man rarely seen in public, yet one who holds a quietly significant place within the House of Windsor. Born in 1955, Sir Timothy comes from a family with a strong military tradition. From a young age, he displayed natural leadership and an unwavering sense of discipline. His naval career spanned several decades, progressing from a young officer to senior positions within the Royal Navy. He served in numerous international missions and strategic operations, experiences that not only honed his resilience, but also helped him earn respect and build influential connections across military and political circles. It is precisely this background that established Sir Timothy as one of the most trusted and capable individuals within royal service. Someone known for his composure, judgment, and strategic insight. His relationship with Princess Anne is an inseparable part of his royal identity. The two first met when Sir Timothy was serving in the Royal Navy and Princess Anne was carrying out her royal duties. Their shared sense of discipline, mutual understanding of royal protocol, and diplomatic sensibility quickly drew them together. In '92, after years of quiet companionship, Sir Timothy married Princess Anne in a private ceremony, understated, elegant, and far from the media glare. The simplicity of their wedding reflected not only his reserved nature, but also the royal family's discretion in handling sensitive personal matters. Though Sir Timothy rarely appears before the cameras, his influence within the royal family should not be underestimated. He frequently accompanies Princess Anne at official engagements, from state ceremonies and diplomatic receptions to overseas tours. Yet, unlike many royals who are often in the public eye, Sir Timothy prefers to remain behind the scenes, observing quietly and subtly, guiding internal affairs when necessary. Ironically, it is this very restraint that amplifies his importance. In an environment as complex and politically charged as Buckingham Palace, the ability to read the room, understand the undercurrents, and exert influence without drawing attention is not just a strength, it is a rare and invaluable art. Viewers might wonder, how could a man who rarely appears in public wield such quiet yet undeniable influence within the royal family? The answer lies in the way Sir Timothy built his reputation and relationships. He never relied on fame or media exposure. Instead, his credibility comes from competence, loyalty, and an exceptional gift for strategic counsel. Many members of the royal family, including figures as powerful as King Charles and Princess Anne, have long valued his prudence, discretion, and ability to navigate sensitive matters with tact and subtlety. That is why Sir Timothy's quiet yet commanding presence remains one of Buckingham Palace's most intriguing mysteries. Beyond his official role and reputation, Sir Timothy is also at the center of many rumors and lingering enigmas. Part of this mystique comes from his minimal media exposure, and part from his complex ties to Princess Anne and other royal figures. Some journalists have noted that his presence often coincides with subtle shifts in royal policy or internal decisions, though such details are rarely made public. There are whispers suggesting that he has been a behind-the-scenes advisor in numerous mighty royal matters, from managing delicate family crises to weighing the public image and internal influence of senior royals. These quiet rumors have made him both an object of fascination and admiration. After all, Sir Timothy seems to master the art of influence without ever needing the spotlight. Looking at his career and personal life, Sir Timothy Lawrence embodies a rare balance between private discretion and royal responsibility. He has always maintained just the right distance from the press, guarding his family's privacy while remaining steadfast in his duties to the crown. This has shaped an image of a man who is powerful yet reserved, a model example for anyone seeking to understand the inner workings of the royal establishment. Another fascinating aspect is his relationship with King Charles. Though they are not often seen together, insiders affirm that mutual respect and trust between the two men run deep. Thus, King Charles's decision to confer the title of Knight Grand Cross upon Sir Timothy Lawrence was not merely a personal acknowledgement, but also a deliberate message about status, loyalty, and influence within the monarchy. It stands as clear proof that, within the British royal family, power doesn't always come with visibility. Sometimes, silence itself is the strongest weapon. These details only deepen public curiosity. Who exactly is Sir Timothy Lawrence? This quiet yet powerful man whose influence seemingly surpasses that of many royals? Why did King Charles choose to bestow the honor so quietly instead of with grandeur? Such questions form an aura of mystery, one that keeps both the media and the public captivated. Ultimately, Sir Timothy Lawrence perfectly illustrates a core truth about the British monarchy. Power and influence are not always bound to public presence. Instead, they rest upon trust, credibility, and the ability to shape outcomes from behind the scenes. The Knight Grand Cross bestowed by King Charles is a rare public affirmation of Sir Timothy's true standing within Buckingham Palace. And so, when we look closely at Sir Timothy Lawrence, his distinguished naval career, his steadfast relationship with Princess Anne, his subtle yet steady role in royal affairs, and the veil of mystery surrounding him, we begin to grasp the full weight and symbolism of this quiet royal gesture. This is not merely a title, it is a statement, a symbol of trust, authority, loyalty, and the coded messages King Charles wishes to convey to both the royal family and the watching world. With such significance, this honor becomes far more than ceremony. It is a deliberate signal, one that reflects the king's careful, strategic, and forward-thinking approach to leadership. Charles III has always been known for his measured decisions, his balance between tradition and reform, and his instinct for timing. Every royal appointment under his reign, from household promotions to the granting of prestigious honors, reflects a blend of prudence, loyalty to heritage, and strategic awareness of power dynamics. His choices are rarely impulsive, rather, they are calculated moves designed to achieve multiple goals: consolidating royal authority, protecting the monarchy's image, and maintaining equilibrium within the family. When reviewing previous royal honors, a pattern emerges. Charles often selects individuals who have not only contributed significantly to the crown, but who have also demonstrated unwavering loyalty over the years. Senior military officers, trusted advisors, and long-serving palace officials have all been recipients of his recognition. These appointments serve not only as personal tributes, but also as subtle messages about the virtues and principles the monarchy seeks to uphold. Each title granted by Charles carries an implicit signal about who is trusted, who holds influence, and who may quietly shape the future direction of the royal family. So why Sir Timothy Lawrence, and why now? The answer likely goes beyond mere acknowledgement of service. Sir Timothy is not only Princess Anne's husband, but also a longtime confidant and quiet stabilizer within royal circles. His integrity, discretion, and deep understanding of the monarchy's internal structure align perfectly with King Charles's own values. This investiture, therefore, serves multiple purposes: recognizing a lifetime of service, reinforcing a trusted alliance, and subtly reaffirming unity within the House of Windsor. Moreover, the decision symbolizes Charles's effort to maintain internal balance within the royal hierarchy. Princess Anne, as the only daughter of the late Queen Elizabeth II, holds a uniquely respected position. By honoring her husband, a loyal and dignified figure, the king simultaneously acknowledges Anne's importance and strengthens the fabric of royal trust. It also sends a quiet but unmistakable message. In today's monarchy, titles are not simply about visibility or lineage, but about enduring loyalty, earned respect, and the unseen bonds that hold the royal institution together. It is impossible to overlook the element of personal relationships and internal politics. Charles understands very well that every public decision is closely watched by both the public and the media. Choosing to announce it quietly through the court circular was also a subtle strategy, to bestow the honor while avoiding excessive attention, and at the same time sending a discreet message about Sir Timothy's true credibility and standing. This is how Charles demonstrates his ability to manage the royal family strategically, not only through grand events, but also through small yet deeply meaningful actions. This conferral also has a clear impact on other members of the royal family. It reaffirms the importance of Anne and Sir Timothy, while reminding everyone that loyalty, reputation, and genuine contribution will always be recognized. For those who may have been hesitant or doubtful, this is a message of power and hierarchy, showing that the royal family's perspective is far deeper and fairer than what the public usually sees. At the same time, for the public, this decision reveals a discrete picture, where influence is not only based on public roles, but also on trust and subtle authority. Another important aspect is what it means for Anne. Sir Timothy Lawrence is not only her husband, but also her strategic companion, supporting Anne in decisions, royal events, and even personal matters. Granting him the Knight Grand Cross is also Charles's indirect way of affirming Anne's importance, while strengthening the delicate alliance between father and daughter. It is a tactful, strategic move that helps balance internal relations, maintain harmony within the family, and express respect for quiet but significant contributions. Overall, the decision to confer this title on Sir Timothy Lawrence clearly reflects King Charles's style: calculated, discreet, but profoundly thoughtful, combining family consideration, internal politics, and personal credibility. It shows that Charles is not merely traditional, but a refined strategist who knows how to use honors to convey subtle messages of authority, respect, and loyalty. Each such decision is carefully measured, reinforcing the royal family's standing while creating strong internal effects without drawing noisy attention from the media. With all these factors considered, it is clear that the Knight Grand Cross bestowed upon Sir Timothy Lawrence is more than a title. It is a symbol of trust, credibility, internal influence, and the refined message of King Charles. It proves that within the British royal family, power is not only shown through grandeur or public appearance, but also through quiet, meaningful gestures. Amid the ongoing noise surrounding royal titles and power, there remains one woman who continues to walk her own path, without showmanship, without rivalry, yet full of dignity and influence. That woman is Princess Anne, the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, long regarded as the royal family's silent pillar. For decades, Anne has been not only a symbol of determination, but also the embodiment of selfless royal service and integrity. Much like her mother during more than 70 years on the throne, Anne was born during Britain's post-war recovery, raised under the royal family's strict discipline, but showing early signs of strength and independence. She never sought the limelight as many royals do, choosing instead a life of quiet dedication. While others became entangled in media attention, Anne maintained a simplicity that earned the people's admiration. Along with King Charles, she is one of the few who truly understand the sense of duty left behind by the late Queen Elizabeth II, to place the nation's responsibilities above all personal desires. However, between the two siblings lies a unique relationship, both close and distant. King Charles is reflective, but often hesitant, while Anne is pragmatic, strong, and decisive. She has never hesitated to speak her mind, even when it might displease Charles. Many royal insiders have revealed that during times when Charles faced public pressure or internal crises, Anne was one of the few whose counsel he would actually heed. Her bluntness can be intimidating, but it is precisely that honesty that earns Charles's respect. With Sir Timothy Lawrence, Anne's second husband, the story runs even deeper. Timothy was a naval officer who served with distinction in the Royal Navy, known for his discipline and absolute loyalty. They met during the final years of Anne's first marriage to Mark Phillips. When their relationship became known, the British press erupted. Yet despite the criticism, Anne followed her heart. Their wedding in 1992 was quiet and modest, far from the grandeur of typical royal ceremonies. Since then, Timothy has remained her steadfast companion. He avoids the cameras, seeks no fame, and quietly walks beside Anne through countless royal engagements and official tours to royal observers. Sir Timothy stands as a solid wall behind the princess, unassuming, yet a constant pillar of support. And for that reason, when King Charles decided to grant him the Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order, the public understood that it was not merely a personal honor, but also a silent acknowledgement of a partnership that has endured through years of challenge. From Anne's perspective, this decision must have carried a wave of emotion. As someone who rarely shows her feelings in public, she would probably only offer a faint smile as her husband was honored. But behind that smile lies a deep sense of pride. For years, Anne and Timothy have stood side by side against public scrutiny, sharing the burden of representing the royal family in more than 500 engagements every year. While other royals have found themselves entangled in controversy, Anne has maintained an image of integrity and dignity. So when her husband was knighted, it was also a reflection of the tireless efforts the two have quietly made together over the past 3 decades. From another angle, King Charles's decision was also a symbolic act. He was not only honoring Sir Timothy but also indirectly paying tribute to his sister, the woman who has always stood by him without seeking glory or power, silently supporting him through turbulent years. At a time when the reign of Charles III faces public doubts over health, the future, and the monarchy's credibility, this conferment serves as a quiet reassurance that loyalty, duty, and devotion still endure, virtues perfectly embodied by Princess Anne and her husband. After the ceremony, British media captured the moment Anne stood at a distance, her gaze following Charles and Timothy with quiet emotion. There were no grand gestures, no public embraces, but a single nod from her was enough to understand that this was a moment of significance. It was not just personal pride, but recognition for a lifetime of service. Today, even at 70, Princess Anne remains one of the hardest working members of the royal family. She carries out hundreds of engagements each year, supports countless charities, and continues to lead by example in community work. To the British public, Anne has come to represent the second coming of the late Queen, not only in her reserved demeanor but also in her steadfastness, dedication, and humility. The knighthood for Sir Timothy Lawrence, therefore, is more than a personal honor. It is also a gesture of gratitude toward the woman behind him, Princess Anne. She needs no title to prove her worth, for her reputation has long been built on her tireless service and quiet strength. With that unique standing, this knighthood carries a message beyond ceremony, a subtle reminder to both the royal family and the public that loyalty, devotion, and simplicity remain the firmest foundations of the British monarchy. And Princess Anne herself is the living proof of that truth. While Buckingham Palace buzzed with the news that King Charles III had awarded the Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order to Sir Timothy Lawrence, there was one person who was far less pleased: Queen Camilla. Outwardly, she maintained her calm composure, the familiar smile for the cameras. But those within royal circles knew that behind that practiced facade lay a clear sense of unease, an undercurrent spreading quietly through the palace at a time when even the smallest internal rift could shake the monarchy's image. Camilla has never been fond of unexpected changes, especially decisions made by Charles without prior discussion. Since entering the royal family, she has worked hard to preserve her influence, not only as the king's consort but also as a subtle force managing his relationships and surroundings. She knows that real power within the British monarchy does not lie solely on the throne but in who holds the king's trust. And Sir Timothy Lawrence, Princess Anne's husband, happens to be one of the very few who do. When the decision was quietly listed in the court circular, Camilla was reportedly not informed in advance. Thus, that caught her off guard, and perhaps even hurt her pride. For years, she has sought to maintain the image of a harmonious royal couple, where every decision is made jointly. But this time, Charles acted alone. What made it worse was that the man being honored was the husband of a woman with whom Camilla's relationship has long been strained, Princess Anne. Camilla's displeasure stems not only from being left out, but also from Anne's own stature within the royal family. For decades, a subtle divide has existed between the two powerful women. Anne represents discipline, integrity, and restraint, the very virtues the British public once expected from a queen. Camilla, on the other hand, despite Charles's unwavering defense and growing public acceptance, still carries the shadow of being the other woman in Charles and Diana's story. And so every time Anne is spoken of with admiration, Camilla can't help but feel she is being silently compared. When King Charles chose to bestow one of the highest royal honors upon Anne's husband, Camilla immediately understood that this was not merely a personal gesture of goodwill, it was a symbol, a quiet declaration that Charles still valued his old family ties, the ideals of loyalty and devotion embodied by Princess Anne. In Camilla's eyes, it was a dangerous sign, a reminder that her own hard-earned position within the monarchy could once again be at risk. According to a source close to the palace, Camilla expressed her opinion quite candidly one evening at Clarence's house, where she and Charles often retreat after long working days. She questioned whether he had considered the media implications of his decision. But Charles, growing increasingly reserved and steadfast with age, replied curtly, "Timothy deserves it." That single sentence said it all. It revealed that this time the king had made up his mind. He didn't want a debate, nor did he need approval, not even from Camilla. That response left her unsettled. For years, Camilla had painstakingly rebuilt her image, inching closer to the hearts of the British people. She led charitable causes, attended cultural events, and crafted the persona of a warm, approachable queen. Yet now, with just one act from Charles, everything seemed to shift. The media began to ask, is Queen Camilla slowly losing her influence within the palace? Ironically, the person who most troubled Camilla was someone she could never openly criticize, Princess Anne. Anne had always maintained impeccable conduct, never uttering a negative word about Camilla, despite their complicated history. Back in the 1970s, when they were young, Anne had a brief romance with Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's former husband. That tangled past ensured that peace between the two women was always fragile. And now, with Anne's husband being publicly honored by Charles himself, Camilla felt as though an old chapter had been reopened, one she had hoped was buried forever. Royal experts believe Charles's decision may have been deliberate, a subtle message, perhaps even a test. After so many years together, the king knows his wife well, her sensitivity to status and reputation. By quietly elevating a man outside Camilla's circle of allies, he may have been reminding her that no one inside Buckingham Palace holds complete sway over the monarch. A palace insider even revealed that Camilla appeared unusually withdrawn during subsequent public engagements. She smiled, fulfilled her duties. Yet her gaze often drifted toward Charles whenever the new knighthood was mentioned. Deep down, she might have sensed her position wavering, not because of Timothy Lawrence himself, but because of something far more enduring, the kind of loyalty she could never truly command. Camilla's discomfort didn't erupt into open conflict, but it spread quietly, like a thin mist through Buckingham's corridors. Those within royal circles know that in the House of Windsor, suppressed emotions are far more dangerous than loud disputes. They build up, waiting for the right moment to surface, through political moves, shifting alliances, or sudden absences in the Queen's schedule. And while the public praised King Charles's act as noble and heartfelt, another tide of emotion was rising inside the palace, one made of jealousy, hurt, and the fear of losing ground. Buckingham Palace, so often the stage of grandeur and ceremony, now harbors a silent war, where every glance and every gesture carries hidden meaning. Perhaps the knighthood of Sir Timothy Lawrence was more than a tribute to loyalty. Perhaps it was the quiet turning point, the moment when the balance of power between King Charles and Queen Camilla began ever so slightly, to shift? That question now lingers in the air, like a cloud hanging over the palace's ancient walls, a place where power, love, and pride have always intertwined, creating undercurrents that never truly rest. Amid the countless grand ceremonies of the British monarchy, there are decisions announced quietly, yet they carry the same weight as a royal proclamation. King Charles III's conferral of the Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order upon Sir Timothy Lawrence, the husband of Princess Anne, is a perfect example. A brief note in the court circular, no lavish ceremony, no formal speech, and yet the entire nation took notice. Because behind that silence lies a subtle message about loyalty, recognition, and perhaps the shifting balance of power within Buckingham Palace. This was not merely a reward for a man who has spent decades devotedly standing by Princess Anne's side. It was also a reflection of how King Charles exercises his authority, quietly but precisely, without fanfare yet powerful enough to send ripples through royal circles. Many view it as an act honoring the traditional values and steadfast loyalty that Sir Timothy represents. But others see it as something more, a discreet reminder to those who may have forgotten that the throne is not just a symbol, but the final seat of power. For Princess Anne, it was a well-deserved honor. For Queen Camilla, perhaps a test of influence. And for the British people, it was yet another glimpse into Charles's calculated subtlety, the kind of cool, deliberate mastery that defines his reign. In the royal family, nothing happens by chance. Every title, every decision is a mirror reflecting relationships, trust, and power. What do you think of this quiet yet powerful move by King Charles III? Share your thoughts below, and join us as we continue to uncover the mysteries behind the ancient walls of the British monarchy.